Jason is here.
We did it. Did we do it? Oh, we did it. Hey everybody, I'm Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net. And today we're going to be talking about Rey Delay Part 3.
Day
Ready
3.
for this, Bestman? Day 3. Like I said, yesterday the storm was coming over us. Today it is firmly on over our heads. It's cold. It's scary. People are fighting in the streets over resources, about, what's the truth. Everybody's mad about things. People who don't read articles at all are super pissed that they've had to read 3 headlines this week that they don't understand. It's crazy, right? It's nuts out there.
I mean, I'm just glad that this is likely the final stage of the saga of the week, because it was a building. It was like, well, Snyder reads the real site, and then he teased yesterday. Then he was like, oh, trust me, I'm coming with my own post, and then we're here. So it's like, this should be the final stage of it, for at least for this week.
Yeah, so we got the newsletter, and we read through it, and we support, we do the old support thing, and read through it. That guy over at Star Wars Newsnet shat the bed with it. I saw his take on it. Put a bunch of stuff that isn't there. Has low reading comprehension, which is why he's always after me and angry at me about bullshit. Makes a lot of sense. So the best place to go, in my opinion, this isn't him saying it, this is all me, is Bespin probably did, I think, the best write-up about it, which is why we always use your stuff.
The best place to go and get it is Snyder.
Jeff Snyder.
Is to give Snyder the money for the work, is to either subscribe to his newsletter, which is $10 a month, but if he's not going to do a Star Wars that often, so you can just go and buy the individual stories that you want for $1 through his coffee page. So
and thank you to Chris Spreezy went and did it first. He bought it, and so we would okay, is it worth getting? He said yes, it is, and he reiterated, okay, we wanted to see it for ourselves, so we went and did the old support thing. So we did our part. Now we have the information in our brains. There's nothing we can do about it. We got to talk about it, right? That's fair. That said, Chris Spreezy also has a Star Wars YouTube channel. It's called Spreezy Star Wars Spreezy. Star Wars Spreezy. He doesn't have a video on it yet, but go and give him a follow. I'm going to be doing his show as soon as he schedules it. He keeps doing that thing.
He needs to hit 500.
He needs to hit 500. Yeah, he needs to hit 500 followers. He's doing that thing though, where he's like, "Oh, when are we doing it?" And I'm like, "Your show. You tell me when we're doing it. When I'll see if I could come that day." I love you, Spreezy, but that's lesson number 1. You give me some options and I'll take one. We'll make it work. But I'll be doing that probably this week. I imagine this would be a good start to something to start talking about.
If he hits the 500 subscribers, he can go live.
But we could also pre-record and then promote that. So I'm cool with that, Spreezy. But anyways, enough of that. Go give him a follow. He's a friend of the show. He's a panelist all the time. And, he's been a friend of mine since 2017. So anyways, on the old Star Wars front. So here we go right here. And Colin wrote Bestspin. So there you go.
Thank you. At least somebody thinks I'm okay,
After this week, everybody hates Bestspin. That's your new show with Chris Rock. All right, Untitled Rey Skywalker Star Wars movie possibly releasing in December 2026. Oh, by the way, I love this little piece of art that you chose. That is one of the nicer, cooler things from that era. This week we've seen multiple reports on the Untitled Rey Skywalker. Oh, before I forget, you can support this channel by becoming a channel member. The other day, Ben also gave a super chat before the show ended, and thank you again, Ben. I thanked you yesterday, but I don't know if you were here. So thank you for that super chat the other day. I do appreciate it. So super chats completely welcome, and I will read them all. And we'll use it as discussion points on the show, something that you want to hear or something that you want to not get dropped. That's one of the best ways. Also, the best way is Patreon and becoming a channel member. And my half-sister, Bespin Bulletin, also has a Patreon, and you can give him a coffee Ko-Fi coffee, whatever the heck that thing's called. And you could just tell them like, hey, all the hate you're getting, you deserve and you earned yourself through your actions, but give it with a tip. And, just the tip though, just the tip. And, it'll make him happy. He likes to be abused for money. For money, he's cool.
Yeah, that's my kink.
Yeah.
No, yeah, if anybody wants to go and support on coffee, that's cool. And yeah, it is what it is,
It's what it is.
I'd be appreciative, but it's it's January. It's tight in January, money wise for everybody. Christmas is gone. It's not great.
It sucks. I'm looking at all the stuff I had to buy, and I'm like, man.
Oh, I'm putting off bills, man. I got like big bills I got to do this month, and I'm like, yeah, let's see how far I can push this. Yeah?
Dude, over in the UK, they make you do crazy stuff for your car every year. It's crazy. I don't think it's fair.
Yeah.
I'd be one of those like guys like, let's do January 6th if I was there. Anyways, earlier this week, there was a report from World of Real that claimed the Rey movie had suffered an indefinite delay, not canceled. By the way, Snyder kind of took a little shot at that in his newsletter.
Yeah.
And I still don't think it's warranted. I still think that they are correct, personally. I still think that is exactly what that was. I don't think they used the wrong terminology or anything, and I'm sticking to it. Anyways, and Gizmodo reported that the film had not suffered a delay. Many insiders and the Hollywood trades had reported since last year that the next Star Wars film to be released in cinemas would be the Rey film being directed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. In June of last year, Lucasfilm announced 3 release dates for Untitled Star Wars movies, May 22nd, 2026. So that's movie 1. December 18th, 2026, movie 2, and December 17th, 2027, movie 3. However, Lucasfilm did not publicly commit any of their announced Star Wars movies to those dates, which at the time included the aforementioned Rey film, an untitled Mandalorian crossover from Dave Filoni, an Origins of the Jedi movie from James Mangold, and films from directors Taika Waititi and Shawn Levy. Reliable Insider took to Twitter and his podcast The Hot Mic earlier this week and teased that the untitled Rey Skywalker film would release in December 2026. He'd reveal more later this week. Snyder had been on the pulse of the Rey movie since the start. Snyder was the first to break that Damon Lindelof, the original writer of the Rey film, was working on a Star Wars movie, and was also the individual that broke that Lindelof was going to let go from the project in March last year. In December last year, Snyder reported that the Rey movie was set. In June last year, Snyder reported that Rey was set to be the next Star Wars movie to release in theaters May 2026, and revealed that Lucasfilm were looking to begin filming in April 2024. So, and once again, like over the last few months, we've been like, you hearing anything? And it was crickets over in Pinewood. However, I started to think that it wasn't filming at Pinewood. It was just going to film at some Dragon Studios or something for a while, but no.
But last year we were here and that. Yeah, we're going to look to do it next year.
Yeah. Yeah. But then nothing ever developed.
Yeah.
It just nothing happened. So anyways, however, this didn't come to fruition due to the WGA SAG after strikes that were ongoing at the time. In December, 1 month before The Mandalorian and Grogu was announced, Snyder shared that a Mandalorian movie would be the next Star Wars movie released. And that brings us to now, where Jeff Snyder, via his paid newsletter, which you can find here, and I encourage you to subscribe, has shared that he knows what he knows regarding the Daisy Ridley-led movie. Snyder wrote that the film's current writer, Stephen Knight, is deep into working on the next draft, and that the film is developing at a normal pace for the studio. That's another one of those things, though. I know what he means, but a normal pace for that studio? What does that even fucking mean? It means fucking a road to nowhere off a cliff. Anyways, Snyder added that he believes the untitled Rey Skywalker film could land in theaters on December 18, 2026. So he thinks it's the 2026 Star Wars movie, yeah? The December one. And will not release in May. That the date has been marked for the recently announced Mandalorian and Grogu, which makes complete sense given that last week when The Mandalorian and Grogu was announced, Lucasfilm touted it would lead their theatrical slate. On just a little side note, I do not believe merchandise is everything at all, but I do think that The Mandalorian would be a better Christmas movie, and that would be a better May movie, because The Mandalorian stuff would be an easier Christmas.
Yeah, but they never get the toys out in time, so maybe by the time December comes around, we get the Mando stuff.
I know it's, yeah, it could go that way with them, but I think that what they've been doing has been because of the TV shit.
I still think it's a fucked way to do it, even for TV.
Oh, I'm with you. But the movies have classically had an October release date for the December film.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, it's Wookiee Wednesday.
Yeah. What about Force Friday?
Oh, Mando Monday. It's Mando Monday. Rob, get your toys on Mando Monday.
That's where I was. I was in line for Mando Monday. It was just I got in.
You went early, Rob. You know, it's what day is it? Fucking Thursday. Like,
look,
can't wait to get your hand on the wheel figure, can you?
He's lined up for Mando Monday.
Those High Republic figures ain't gonna buy themselves, boys.
That's true.
Like,
you gonna buy that little blue guy who whips ass?
The one with the white robes. That's the one I want.
Oh, poor Spreezy. All right, away from the release date, Snyder in his newsletter shared that he's heard that Daisy Ridley is receiving a bumper payday for her Rey return, revealing that the actress is getting paid $12.5 million. So, yeah, our friend of the show DM'd me and was like, only $12.5 million? And I'm like, well, number one, that's really good for her. But also, she only got $115,000 for The Force Awakens. So
Snyder said in his thing, he was like, "Yeah, it's well above what she's paid on average, not just for Star Wars, but in any of her films."
Yeah.
And to put this into context, just how big of a payday this is. Marvel, like again, this is from Snyder from a podcast months ago.
Yeah.
Marvel were looking to keep the Fantastic Four cast under the double figure mark for the millions.
Yeah, you know? What do we think they gave Pedro?
It's under what apparently Gyllenhaal and Driver wanted, which was I think 10? They said between 12 to 15.
12 to 15, okay.
So yeah, and obviously he said that Emma Stone was the first choice for the Invisible Woman.
Yeah,
Sue Storm, but she was demanding like 20 mil because she is a box office success.
Yeah, you know? yeah. I mean, if Emma Stone is going for 20, her getting 12.5 sounds like it's completely on and
it's
fair.
A good deal for her. It's a very good deal for her.
It's healthy and it's good. So yeah, I mean, anybody, you know, that's enough to live the rest of her life fine. So good for her. I'll take some, you know, I don't know. What do you think she eats? What do you think she eats for dinner? You think she's a vegetarian? You think it's like,
I don't know. I just know she's like lives in the UK and she's going to the high end supermarkets, man. She's going to Waitrose, you know. I know that's what she's shopping. You know, I'm down here.
Disgusting.
No, it's where the middle class and the rich people go.
I'm a Taco Bell man, you know. Through and through.
Cut to her right now, just eating pure Nutella right out the jar. You know what I mean? Like, I eat what I wants to eat. Like, I don't care. Like,
you know, you really have a Nutella fetish because you've said
he has a
few
thing for
times
Nutella.
This week.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
I've never seen.
You know what, Rob? Okay, I got it, guys. You know what Rob told me this week? Let's just say he somehow ended up with a big thing of mix of the Wendy's milkshake. And he walked home in the hot sun many years ago, and he drank the stuff that makes the milkshake. So I think this is a dream of yours, Rob.
Jason's storytelling ability is phenomenal.
Okay, Rob fucking stole that shit, and he walked home in the hot sun.
A podcast. You yourself should be at the story group for Lucasfilm. This is brilliant stuff. Do spin more yarns, my friend. Bring out the bard.
Well, the best part is
you can play the lute.
The best part is he threw up. He threw up that milkshake.
Who wouldn't?
You know.
And that is how we invented Nutella.
You were like a.
I invented Nutella.
You were like a twink with his first taste of cum. Anyways, maybe it's a hint or maybe it isn't. But Snyder tells readers,
nice show.
To stay tuned when pondering if a lucrative
Good salt burn, Jason. Good salt.
Right? Oh man, from the plug. like what Ridley is receiving will be enough to entice other sequel trilogy stars to the project. So, like, does that, let me ask you this, guys. Does that actually like make sense though? If Ridley's getting 12.5 mil, can we just assume that there won't be money for another person of that thing with the Star Wars movie? Or do you think that they go and they, doesn't that to me almost say that we won't see anybody else? Like we won't see Finn? Doesn't that almost like a guarantee? Or am I wrong there? Because I don't follow what actors are paid a lot. So that's why I'm a little bit like, to me, it makes me just think that Finn definitely ain't in this one.
But I would argue, I would imagine, that's obviously through no, information, but I would assume Boyega would get paid more. Because I think he probably makes more on average doing films because he's done a lot more work than Ridley.
Yeah.
Where he's also led films. So like They Clone Tyrone or Breakin' or or something like that. So I think like she is being quiet over the last few years. It's only more recent times that she's
it's not
with
called
like
the Adam Driver movie. It's called the Rey movie. So
right. I mean,
just letting you know.
Yeah, that's what makes me kind of.
If it's called the Rey movie, and it finds out that a male co-star got paid more than her, do you have any idea?
I don't think it's going to be called the Rey movie though.
It is. It's called Rey Day.
Is it?
Yeah, it's called Rey Day.
Rey Day, a Star Wars story.
Yeah, it starts.
It's called Revenge of the Sith. I'm telling you right now.
Revenge? Is that what you said? Revenge?
Yeah, Revenge.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. All right. Personally, I was hoping that the film would take the December 27th window and that December 26th would see the release of Dave Filoni's Mandoverse crossover movie. At least to me, releasing the two Mandalorian-centric films back-to-back, I feel, would create real synergy and would be the Mandoverse equivalent of Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. However, I'd very much like to see that Lucasfilm try to reunite some of the stars of the sequel trilogy for the film. I'd love to see a John Boyega return, and hopefully they do his character of Finn justice this time around.
Because that's what I think is going to be the sell for Boyega. It isn't just the payday. It's going to be that they don't screw him again. Because they sold him so many false promises for the sequel trilogy, and then he look at what he was reduced to. He does deserve better than that. So
like literally the only, I shouldn't say the only thing, that's a bit hyperbolic, but one of the things I enjoy about episode 9 is that it at least gave like Finn, it pointed him in a different direction than just being like a paper pusher in the new Republic. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like it's like, oh, he's going to be a Jedi now again. Like we're back on the original idea. So,
but we'll do nothing with it. You won't even have the conversation with Rey. It won't go anywhere.
Well, he sensed that there was something in that tower. He's like, that's the one. That's the
feeling.
One. That's the feeling. More than a feeling. Yeah, that was it. I mean, and but it gave him a possible future. That's the thing that it did. And then we see this right here, and it doesn't seem like, from what it sounds like, that possible future is going to be realized here. I'm cynical on Finn being in this thing. Just, I don't know why. I just am. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because it seems like from the very start, if you were going to do that, if they try to put him in as an afterthought, we're just back to the same old shit. So that's
why I think if he was, that he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
He needs a clear vision for his character and something needed to do than to return. I think John Boyega does have a lot of self-respect. I think he would turn down a big payday if his character wasn't getting the screen time that he deserved and the development that it deserved.
Yeah, and if he has every right to complain about the way he feels about his career and the path that they promised him and what they gave him. But if he does come back and that's the way it is, I don't want to hear a fucking thing from him.
I think he's had a good career. Like, he hasn't become a superstar, but like he's had a good career. Like he's done a bunch of good movies that I've seen post Tross, and it's hard to say the same for Daisy. And I like Daisy. I thought she was really, like, I loved her in the Force Awakens, but it was she hasn't had the career that I think many people thought. And you could even say the same for Adam. Like, he's done a bunch of movies, smaller movies they thought would make a lot of money, possible franchise starters, and they haven't had the return. But he's obviously incredibly talented. Same thing for, and the one who doesn't need this at all is probably Oscar Isaac. You know,
right?
Like he was established pre-Star Wars, very successful, and he's done the same since. You know,
and I would even say I think Adam Driver is the talent of the bunch in the
Right.
big picture, and but I think he had, honestly, I feel like he had a shot at being the mainstream Hollywood guy, and I just don't think he is. I just don't think he's ever going to be. You know, I think a generation of women find him super attractive. I think to a lot of people, though, he's just kind of a goofy looking dude, and he's hard to take seriously. And I've heard a lot of older people go, "How is he Han Solo's son? He looks like a dork," you know.
I even recall, like, I think it was last year, Snyder talking about Driver and Fantastic Four. It was like he wants or needs a big franchise thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's where he saw Fantastic Four as for himself. And obviously he's not in that now. It's seemingly Pedro, which is still yet to be confirmed somehow. But yeah, so
yeah, and KG just got married to Adam Driver on the stream. He literally said, "I do." So there we go.
Are we considered witnesses for that?
Oh yeah, totally.
You got a girlfriend?
Okay.
I mean, you got a girlfriend?
You got
a girlfriend?
Adam Driver, do you take KG to be your lawfully wedded wife? And he says,
"You got a girlfriend?"
He says, "Have you seen Girls? Have you seen how I roll?" And she said, "I do." And they're married now. All right, Deadpool.
It's how Finn interviews for the Jedi Order. He goes, "You got a girlfriend?"
I haven't read your article on this one yet, and this is I think the most exciting part of the whole thing.
The Levy one.
Yeah, because if you know, I don't care what anybody fucking says. The Rey movie was supposed to be the first movie. That was was the plan. That was it. And then it did suffer a delay, and then
but not publicly because they never got a date and blah blah
blah. I don't just because Disney makes the rules doesn't mean we have to follow them. You know what I mean? Fuck you, Disney. No. And then but what we have here is we have a Rey movie that has been pushed out of its first slot into slot number 2. I'm sorry, I can't keep the dates straight. They're just fucking nonsense to me. So it moved from date 1 to date 2 of 3, right?
You know, remember before you said you're bullet dyslexic?
Mm-hmm.
I think you're really state dyslexic too.
I am. And totally. And but it moves so it moves from slot 1 to slot 2, from date 1 to date 2 of 2026, right? And so in doing so, like, well, why did it happen? And we know that new writer was brought aboard and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but we also haven't, I don't know if you mentioned it going into in this article or not, but we haven't really delved into this concept because the Shawn Levy movie, which, you know, I believe you heard something kind of positive about at some point. Can't remember what you said now.
Yeah, it was like, you know, it was post writer strikes, pre-actor strike resolved.
Yeah.
I was told that it's, they're confident in it and they want to make it happen.
You were essentially told, like, expect that one to probably
it's a go.
It's a goer. That's what you said. It's a goer, not a shower. Yeah, no. And so with that right there, what that Rey movie does can affect the Levy film.
Well, yeah, if What's Snyder saying is on,
yeah, and I mean, I'm just gonna give him the benefit of the doubt on that it is. So I mean, when you look at it, that could be more reason to delay it. And the other question would be too is was Shawn Levy a part of the writers' room on that movie at any point, or did he ever attend any meetings? It sounds like we're looking for a communist in the 50s, right? But did he ever attend any of those meetings, stuff like that? Because
or in modern day.
Yeah, because to me it's sounding like, oh, the Levy film might be sort of a concept, but also a sequel. It's worth considering, right? Okay, so do I have that up on the screen? Oh, I don't. Here it is. Now you guys can see the article from bestmanbulletin.com. So, Deadpool 3 director Shawn Levy, Star Wars movie rumored to feature Daisy Ridley's Rey Skywalker. Now, this is Shawn Levy with a great head of hair, you son of a bitch. Looking like he could be in the fucking Beatles or the Monkees. Kind of has a Monkees vibe, doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of like look like he could have been in the Monkees? A little bit. You don't know what I'm talking about. Anyways.
I'm too young.
Yeah, you're too young. I mean, I was too young, so I wasn't monkeys right now. I know things. I'm not, Anyways, in November 2022, it was reported by Deadline that the director behind Free Guy, The Adam Project, and various episodes of Stranger Things, Shawn Levy, has been tapped by Lucasfilm to helm a Star Wars film. Oh man, you went full Hollywood. You're reading too much Snyder.
Yep.
You're reading too much Snyder.
I know.
Man.
I shouldn't have read the newsletter.
I mean, the only things that I believe should be tapped are shoulders and asses. Nothing for a job.
Hey, yeah.
Okay. In the months
I got lucky for you, Jason. I've got both.
Hey, you watch it, buddy. I'm coming for you.
Literally.
You adorable little twink. In the months that followed, Levy confirmed to the news various times that he was developing an untitled Star Wars movie, though the director's immediate attention was given to Deadpool 3, which had been shooting since the summer. However, no details have ever sprung up in regards to what his film would be about or when fans could expect to see the project. All we know is that according to Levy, Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, wanted a Shawn Levy movie and pointed towards the aforementioned Free Guy and the Adam Project. So there you go. That's the story. Now, today, however, we got a bit of an update as to what, or more so, who the Levy film would focus on, courtesy of Jeff Snyder via his paid newsletter. You could buy the newsletter for like $10 a month. You could give them like $100 for like the whole thing for a year, or you could just buy the individual articles a la carte. If you got the
for
money.
$1.
Are we talking about scoops or NFTs? I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, I think you get a Jeff Snyder challenge coin. All right, before we continue, I'd just like to stress how reliable Snyder. Reliable Snyder has been in regards to Star Wars news, especially around Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's Untitled Rey Skywalker film, and I encourage fans to subscribe to his newsletter. So there we go. We've done a bunch of ads for his newsletter, so if he gets mad that we covered it, sorry, bro. As part of his latest release, Snyder delved into a bunch of Star Wars.
That is why this is all here, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
That is why I've said that multiple times.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it makes it even Stevens. And one for the most surprising. Okay, as part of his latest release, Snyder delved into a bunch of Star Wars tidbits, and one of the most surprising pieces within the newsletter was that Rey could be connected to the untitled Shawn Levy movie. Snyder doesn't commit hard to Rey appearing in the Levy flick, but shares that from what he's been hearing, Rey Skywalker might be involved with the Levy effort. Again, Snyder isn't definitely saying Daisy Ridley is part of the Shawn Levy film, but that she might be from what he's been hearing. What? Oh, okay. Watch it, Rob. These people, they don't know what that means. Our audience does, but outside of the show, we're gonna get some comments. All right, we don't know in what capacity Rey would feature, whether it would be in a leading role that follows up the Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy film that would see Rey constructing a new Jedi Order, or it would be more of a supporting capacity. And for now, it should be taken as a rumor that Rey could appear in the Levy effort. Yeah, like what if Levy pitched, I have this idea about these Jedi, and like they were Rey's apprentices, and blah blah blah, and then they're like, oh, you know what, we're doing how Rey gets those apprentices.
Rey is 84 years old in the Levy movie.
Yeah, Rey is 84 years old, and her 2 apprentices are taking her to get a hysterectomy, and on the way there, trouble. All right. Anyways, Rey is having the vapors, hot flashes, but those make Palpatine electricity shoot out of her, and she's killing everything. What's gonna happen? And okay, anyway, sorry. Back when David Lindelof on board as the writer of the Rey New Jedi Order film, it was reported that the film was being constructed as a standalone effort. But if the film was successful, follow-up films could arrive. We don't know if that idea has changed, but I'd imagine not. If the New Jedi Order film releases and is a monumental success, which, by the way, I gotta always bitch about this, dude. New Jedi Order, right? I hate New Jedi Order. I hate New Republic, because they're going to do generations of stories. There's going to be a generation of films out, and every single one can't be the new one. Okay, so it needs they need
Come
to come
on,
up
have
with.
you ever seen a restaurant open up with premium?
I know.
Right.
Jedi Order under new management. You know,
And
I
after
mean,
the New Republic is going to be New Republic Plus. You
the
know?
Republic. Yeah, the fucking idiots at Disney are like, hey, we got some ideas about how maybe they should be branding in universe. So, anyways, so that leads me to believe that we likely won't see this film from Levy for quite some time, and we might not hear any hard updates on it or even know when to expect it until after Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy's flick releases. So I would have to think once they get that script, the Stephen Knight or whoever ends up doing it ends up finishing up, and they have a text though, that's when he's able to start really thinking about what he can actually do.
Well, we know from Levy anyway that he isn't going to focus on this until Deadpool's done and out.
Yeah,
you know,
and
which Deadpool releases in July.
In July, and it's the only Marvel film, right? It's the only Marvel film,
yeah,
like, for quite some
unless
time.
you want to count the Sony universe of Marvel characters movies.
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm more interested in that one with those spider chicks because
Madam Web.
They're all
respect
cute.
on it.
They're a lot cuter than Wolverine. Anyways, personally, I was hoping that the Levy movie would focus on a group of brand new characters in a sort of the galaxy in a place of the galaxy
not seen. I wrote
part
this
of the
a lot.
galaxy. Yeah. No worries. We're not seen in a time period we get to explore. It's always what I was hoping for with the Taika Waititi Star Wars film would be. That being said, I do like the idea that Lucasfilm are slowly plotting a possible follow-up to the Rey movie, and that they're planning out a series of films focusing on the character. So, yeah, maybe my brain just totally goes to oh yeah, they are actually looking at having a sequel direction on this, which is that's great though. That is the kind of planning that we need from them.
This is what I don't like about the release date structure. If we take all of what Snyder said, doing Mando in May 26th, then Rey, and then we haven't even said what the other ones are yet, but it's not this and it's not Filoni.
Yeah,
it's all over the place.
And we need to, I think, just to look at it from their side a little bit. Filoni and Favreau are going to be working on those two films together in a capacity. I think that they're just going to end up switching seats as they go on, But in the middle of that, there's also an Ahsoka series. So those two guys are doing, are doing a Mando series and two series and two movies. So I think that they
possibly we still don't really know.
We still don't really know. It does sound like it though.
Yeah.
If right now, if we had to place bets, I would bet on the short season of Mando 4. Yeah. That's what I would bet on right now. But yeah, you're right. We don't. No, I don't think. Honestly, I don't know if they know, or probably how firmly they know. I think that they definitely have a direction, but there's some tentative issues. And I know this is gonna bum out Star Wars people, but a part of me hopes Mando 4 doesn't happen, and that they just focus on the movie. I would prefer.
I always like the idea of streamlining it. Mando 3 was so overstuffed, and if there was a good movie in there that you could have constructed,
big time. Yeah, if we just took all of the text of that season, you could make a good thing about Mandalore coming back. Yeah, for sure. And that season did do a lot of setup stuff and whatever. But it does. Like I said, I would rather Favreau do one thing real perfect as opposed to doing a bunch of things. And I'm also a little afraid of that next season of Mando, in the sense that if they have a bunch of data that they want to feed into our brains so we comprehend his movie easier, that's going to, number one, make for a bad season, and then make a lot of people lost or just not give a shit about what is going on, like how Rob is always highly critical of the Mortis thing. And it's it's like a lost moment.
Oh
if
no,
you've
I love
never
Mortis. What are you
No,
talking
but
about?
it's like a lost moment. It's like a moment from Lost. Where you're like, what the fuck is this statue? Why are they on it? What does that mean? And
Yeah,
then
the whole trilogy out of it.
no, and then it will be explained. But this
Oh, man.
Mando, but the Mando movie, it's not the first one, especially how they're making it sound. It's not a movie about intrigue, right? It's gonna be
Ray and
fucking.
Mortis.
It's gonna be
You know,
about.
and they go on time traveling adventures in different dimensions. And we get to see
might
Purgles, and we get to see Hayden Christensen be 16 when he's 50. I can't wait to see more of it. You know, let's do that.
You don't like role play, dude? Why are
Huh?
you kink shaming our audience? I mean, because I'm not. I'm pretty.
I don't kink shame
If they
anybody,
want to be,
especially our audience.
you know what I mean.
I mean, we got guys called Bun Sauce. I mean, you gotta respect that.
Yeah. We also got Hot Mike as well. We have a Hot Mike in the
Mike Yearney.
hot Mike. We also got or is Jedi Mike the Hot Mike? Who's the Hot Mike? You know what I mean? You guys decide. Brandon, get the fuck out of here. You're not a Hot Mike.
Who's got a $10 newsletter?
What are you doing? What are you doing? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Huh?
Get out of
That's
here,
the Hot
Brandon.
Mike.
Okay. So there was one more story today, and we'll share this tab instead because we're kind of like actually getting into it naturally. Dave Filoni's Untitled Star Wars The Mandalorian crossover movie rumored to release in 2028, which is, I think, pretty bad good news is what I call that one. But
just in time for my 16th birthday, Jason.
Oh, wow. You mean
we going to Discovery Zone, Jason. We gonna do it. We don't need parents or nothing. We gonna be there after party at Chuck E. Cheese. Woohoo!
I don't like how old I'm gonna be by the time this movie comes out. You know.
Oh yeah, you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead.
Yeah, I will be dead.
Yeah. Now the key is to always wear a fun hat. You never age. I'm telling you right now. You got a fun hat on.
Is that why Jason always wears a hat?
Yeah,
he's trying not to age.
Yeah, it keeps me young. I mean, Filoni. I just take Filoni's advice. I mean, look at him. I mean, he was on King of the Hill, and now he's practically running Star Wars.
I know. Can you believe it? I hope one day I make it to Bob's Burgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I really try hard.
Dave Filoni's Untitled Star Wars movie, The Mandalorian crossover movie, rumored to release in 2028. And right here we have Dave with the little penguin's head on, looking like a little penguin himself, talking to the Mandalorian.
That's a bit harsh, calling him a penguin.
Doesn't he kind of? I mean, if he was an animal, wouldn't he probably be a penguin?
He'd be a wolf.
Nah, he wants to be a wolf, but he'd be
I'd be a platypus.
What would I be? Just like a
I'm
piece
furry
of shit?
and I like to lay.
What would you be?
Yeah, what animal am I?
Sloth.
Oh,
a sloth.
No, he ain't no. Come on, he ain't no sloth. No, you a what we call Monchichi. You a Monchichi. My third favorite animal, the kingdom.
Because it's like the stone. All right.
Yeah, I'd say you was a snork, but I ain't never seen you get in the ocean. So I
love the snorks. When I was a kid, I was like, that was on the little crap run of shows, like the cheaper ones. But snorks was pretty good, man. The snorks was pretty good.
I know. I worked on those. Like you
were just a little kid, Filoni.
I did. I sent in my scripts and everything. I think they used them because the writing was spectacular.
That explains the Clone Wars movie. All right, in April 2023, Lucasfilm formally announced at Star Wars Celebration that Dave Filoni would be directing and writing a Star Wars movie that would act as a crossover event for the various live-action Disney Plus series that he's had a hand in, which includes The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, and the Book of Boba Fett. Just a few months.
Boba Fett.
Boba Fett.
Is that? Oh, can we bring back Bill Paxton? He can play Boba Fett.
He'd be like,
is that Chet? Hi guys.
Just a few months after the Celebration announcement, Disney and Lucasfilm dated 3 Untitled Star Wars movies. I can't read them again. I just don't care. Movie 1, 2, and 3. A Rey Skywalker movie and Origins of the Jedi movie were in that with Filoni's movie. In a piece by The Hollywood Reporter from last year, the outlet shared that they believe the Filoni effort would release a year after the Rey film being directed by Sharmina Obaid-Chinoy, because it was the plan. and that Filoni's film was dependent on the production and release of a 4th season of The Mandalorian and possibly a 2nd season of Ahsoka, which I also believe that was been the truth the whole time. Things have changed since that time, though, with questions hanging over the possibility of a 4th season of Mandalorian, as Lucasfilm announced a Mandalorian theatrical film just last week, The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is due to enter production this year, and that Filoni is still whittling away writing the 2nd season of Ahsoka. You know, every single time I see the name Grogu written out, I think of the spaghetti sauce, and I imagine it green. It's like there we go, marketing. If we're going off the past tidbit from THR and apply what we think we know today, you'd assume that the Filoni film wouldn't release until December 2027, given that it's now rumored that the Rey Skywalker film would take the 2026 window. However, according to reliable insider, blah, 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 that guy, Joe Snyder, who first exclusively broke the Dave Filoni thing in his newsletter, and,
no,
blah,
he
blah,
didn't
blah,
break in his newsletter. He broke on the
blah, blah, fucking, I'm turning to Star Wars Santa with this fucking
repetitive you don't
stuff.
Become Star Wars Santa.
You're killing me. It's not your fault.
Above it. What you want about? I'm killing me right now.
Dave Filoni said directed a Star Wars movie. He directed something. He had a cowboy hat on. It looked like fucking Indiana Jones if he was a penguin. Anyways, Jeff Snyder, who first exclusively broke that Dave Filoni was set to direct a Star Wars movie ahead of the Celebration announcement.
Whoa, Jason! Just talk about the content.
I'm never
just talk about
Santa.
the content. And Harlan Ellis and Jason. Okay,
no,
Santa,
fuck you, Santa.
Shut
the fuck up, Santa. What are you doing, Santa? Come on. You're gonna kill the show, Santa. Sorry. All right. Anyways, he shared via his newsletter that he believes Dave Filoni's effort will not be taking the December 27 release date. That the date would see the origins of the Jedi movie from James Mangold's release. Oh, Mangold's gonna release all over. He's pushed
out to 2032. You know.
Yeah. And that the Filoni crossover film might not release until 2028. And don't take it too seriously, but there were like rumors that Filoni was stressed by what they had going on. You know what I mean? Like how it was supposed to work. And so if Filoni does have until 2028, I think that's if the rumors are true, I think that's great. The possibility might surprise some readers. It definitely surprised me. I was personally hoping to see The Mandalorian and Grogu back to back with the Filoni movie, with the former taking the May 2026 window and the latter taking the December 2026, which is better. That would be better for us, obviously. It seems like wishful thinking, given that Filoni has to work on The Mandalorian and Grogu along with a second season of Ahsoka before he gets to direct his theatrical effort. But even then, I expect the film to release in December 27 at the latest. So in a weird way, Snyder is actually putting more confidence in us getting that Mangold movie in a weird way. That's like strangely a weird bit of like, there's an intention to like do that, here. And something that is crossed my mind, recently is that Mangold has, I don't think it's Mangold's fault, but he has a huge loss with Indiana Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And if he was able to come up with a Star Wars movie with a huge win, it would be like, oh, it wasn't me. It's not my fault. And so I could kind of see, I know he has I'm like that fucking Bob Dylan movie ain't gonna move his fucking career up or down. That's doesn't fucking matter.
Get him like awards and
yeah, you get him awards. But when we're talking about like the box office thing, getting you the big movies, yeah, he's gonna be able to make Bob Dylan movies the rest of his life.
Nah, man, the next movie he's gonna make is about the Segway guy. You know what I mean? Where he just drives himself off a cliff.
The Dollop did a podcast on the development of the Segway. So fucking hilarious. Cannot recommend that enough. I mean, it's nuts. It's
what I wish for most CEOs,
But it also shows us how fucking just off of its rocker Silicon Valley actually is. Like when you look at like that's the foundations of it, of it as we know it today. It's bullshit. All right. Anyways, at the moment, it seems as if Star Wars films are releasing in December of a year and an Avatar film isn't releasing. With the next Avatar movie stated to release in December 2025, December 2029, and December 2031 after Rob and I have both died of old age.
Hey. You told me the singularity was going to keep us from dying, Jason.
It's about then. So it's about, it's about, we got about 9 years to go. I mean, we're not going to make it. You know, my kids are immortal. We're dead. Given that 2020,
look at Bestman's tongue. We're not making it, Jason. All right, like, you know.
I mean, if he could just keep that thing in his mouth, he might live. Given that 2028 wants to the release of an Avatar movie, it would make sense to see a Star Wars movie, possibly Filoni's Helmet December 2028 release window. So
I thought that was an important piece to add in.
Mm-hmm.
That there is an opening for December 2028.
Yeah.
And they seem to be wanting to release Star Wars movies in December.
Mm-hmm.
Between now
and May, apparently. May and December.
Well, they've only committed one to May, right? Which is 2026. Everything else is still December, it seems.
Yeah, and that Rey movie was, if that wait, which one was the May one now?
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Okay. So
we go Mando and Grogu, Rey, Mangold, Filoni.
All right.
But again, that also lines up with the Taika thing. Remember, like, he's going to do like 4 films that could take him till 2030. He said in one of the things.
Yeah.
So that still adds up for Taika. If the Levy movie is a sequel to the Rey movie, it wouldn't be until a couple of years later. So it all does pan out.
But also too, I mean, doing a Star Wars movie in May and December again, might be a test.
Mm-hmm.
And if that test goes well, if people take 2 disparate topics in Star Wars and are cool with it, then there's always a chance that we might see another May Star Wars movie added in there at some point as the follow up to.
I think the Avengers movies are supposed to come out in May 26 and May 27. I don't think that May 26 one's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be May 27 and May 2028.
Okay.
Because they always like releasing Avengers movies in May, and it's always, you know, like, well, if you look at Infinity War Endgame, it's always a year between, and that's what they wanted this time around as well.
Right.
So I think if we do end up going back to May and December, which I really hope they don't do, because that is oversaturation.
Yeah.
And it didn't go well from last time, that we might not see it until 2020. What
was
30?
That? Oh, 2030. Okay.
Yeah, because like Avatar's in December 2029, so it would have to be the year after.
Yeah.
Because it's Avatar, Star Wars, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Like, it's taking turns almost. So.
Yeah, it's so. I mean, it's we're in 2024 when you start thinking of like 2020, 2030, then you go like, but then I also start going like,
Hazard's going to be able to go to the prom by the time this movie comes out, dude.
He's going to have a full-on fucking ZZ Top beard by that point, yeah.
You think mullets will come back by 2030? You think they'll...
No, they just came back. I think we're good.
Yeah, mullets have come back already.
Yeah, they already come back. I think we got...
Oh, they did?
I think we got 20 years of no more of that bullshit.
Will they be shaving Ghostbusters logos into their head again in 2030, Jason?
I hope that does come back.
When I was a kid, I had a Nike shaved in the back of my head.
What'd you have?
A Nike logo shaved in the back of my head.
Yeah. A Tekken logo right in the back of your head.
Got a big Dragon Ball in the back of my head.
The swoosh. Yeah. Bun sauce mullets did come back. I like Australia's had a pretty good punk scene the last like couple of years, and they've all been rocking it hard.
There's a lot of people around here who's rocking mullets, and in rugby as well, which is obviously big in Australia, it's big in the UK and wherever. There's a lot of people rocking mullets there as well.
Oh, remember Cal Kestis rocked the mullet in his game last
I had him in a mullet the entire time. Yeah.
If Cal Kestis goes full Joe Dirt, I will buy that game.
Oh, right? I would say about 90% of videos that you see people playing that game, they all pick the mullet. It was the most I think that was the most popular hairstyle for that character, probably. At least that's what I saw. And that's how I remember it anyways. Yeah, KG says Cal Dirt.
Cal Dirt. I love it.
Dirt.
Husker D's, Husker Downs.
That is a very good Star Wars name. I'm Cal Dirt. But yeah, I mean, what I was gonna say was though, Kathleen Kennedy is 70 years old. At what point does Kathleen Kennedy go? And then, do those movies survive? You know what I mean? The ones that are coming in 2030.
She's the first using the singularity, Jason. She's never leaving.
Oh, they survive anyway? Yeah. Like, realistically? Like, how confident are you that, I don't know, say 3 of these films happen? Really happen?
Okay. So honestly, I think that everything that we're hearing sounds like concepts that don't die because somebody leaves. So like the Mando thing, that train is already it's already on the rails. It's going, and we're gonna get those Mando stories. Like that was the one thing I have no doubt about, right? And then the Rey track. Rey is a main Star Wars character. She's known. She's in a trilogy of films that each one made over $1 billion, if not $2 billion. And so she's super exposed on that front to the mainstream audience. People know who she is. She's on your cereal boxes and stuff like that. So that makes me have confidence that one could be delayed all over the place, but will still happen. And then when you look at like the Shawn Levy one, it's like a sequel, right? And so if it sounds like a sequel anyways, and it has Rey in it, so then you could say like if that one right there is likely to survive even if Levy goes on, because they will likely
but if the Rey movie doesn't succeed,
oh yeah,
then that is never happening.
Yeah, and then it would obviously be transformed, and she would maybe turn into a Nick Fury type. It's supposed
like,
to.
But what does success mean to Lucasfilm now? Like if a film doesn't make $1 billion,
depends on what the budget of the movie is. Rob. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is how if they go out there and they make these Star Wars movies for $350 million, then they are banking on them being $1 billion, and they might not be, and then they're going to fail. But I think when you look at Mando and like what they're bringing in a whole season of Mando in at, and that's like around like that 130 benchmark area, give or take. And so that's what makes me think that would probably be the budget on those films. That's just a guess, but does that seem reasonable to you guys?
I think for those films, yeah, maybe Dave is more because, it's supposed to be the combination of it all. It's a big event. Mm-hmm. So maybe, I think the Rey movie gets budgeted to about 200 million. Mm-hmm. And I'd imagine Filoni gets something similar. Mm-hmm. Because even if you look at, like, the Fast and Furious franchise is a success, right? It's a successful franchise.
Yeah.
But they went indie with it for the last movie, and their budget was 330 million. Jeez. And they, according to Snyder now, are trying to get it to 200 this time around, because they need the profit margins to be a lot bigger than what they were.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these big blockbuster types are gonna go and try and keep it close to 200 million, which is a heck of a lot of money. Yeah. That's still a really big budget for a movie, but I'd imagine they try and keep it to 200, because in that case they only need to really make over 600 to do it, and that seems far more possible and likely than $1 billion.
Yeah, and also too, like, for instance, if they did come in around that and they did need to make 600, and let's just pretend like they even came like a little bit short on that kind of instance, there is a built-in consumer base who buys stuff upon.
They'll buy the Blu-rays and the digital and rent it and the merchandise, blah blah blah.
Yeah, so it's like, so that one to be a failure would have to be an Indiana Jones style, like, disparity between the budget and the money coming in. So, but when I see that, like I said, when I see the Mandalorian, if I was just a fucking executive who's like, yo, let's talk about this, and you look at like, oh, you guys could do a season of the Mandalorian for 130, you should be able to do the movie for, like somewhere around that is what they might come in. And like,
And it'd be
obviously
the smart move.
there's a big difference in like the visual effects, like work and like, cause like Mando classically,
how much does the Batman cost? I mean, minus COVID though, like, because I know they went overrun with COVID, you know, blah 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 blah. But like, what's the budget for the Batman 2? Whatever the budget for Batman 2 is, the Mando should be that or under. Like,
well, we don't know the budget for Batman 2 because it hasn't filmed, right?
They're filming in August, so they got a budget,
but they haven't filmed. So
but the first Batman had a budget between 180 to 200.
It says in March 2020, the Batman has a reported budget of 200 million, which is double the initial estimate of 100 million. The budget is for the DC film directed by Matt Reeves. So that's
so this should be between 150 and 200. You know?
Yeah, but the Batman is still profitable because it made like over 700 million. So if they keep this to 200, they really could become profitable just with the box office, not even counting everything else.
Yeah,
no merch or anything else, just the box office.
Yeah, and like, you know, and most people are, I don't know if I should say most people, but I think a lot of people, especially Star Wars fans in particular, are going to be excited to go back to the movies to see a Star Wars movie when they haven't seen one since 2019. A lot of Star Wars fans have had kids, and their kids have never got to go and see one. Like my daughter my daughter saw all of those ones. She was really tiny. She has no recollection of seeing any of them in the theaters, as far as I know.
Those kids might love Grogu. They might have grown up with,
and she loves.
Yeah, Grogu. And imagine if they have a Grogu Stanley Cup. All right, you know what's gonna happen, Jason? Do you have any idea? You know, like, these kids are gonna be ripping each other's throats out. You know, just to get one of those.
The way that they like fetishize like products that are stupid is so fucking.
Because it's a value to fire.
I watched my mom. Hold on, I watched my mom get into a fist fight over Cabbage Patch dolls in 1983. Like, for my brother who was just born. It's for your brother. He was just born.
He was just born.
It was 84, but yeah, it was whatever. It was like my brother was like 1 year old, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that the studios need to figure out how to get that culture back that goes to the theaters. Like Will Morgan says, movies simply do not have the same crowds they used to because there's just not as many butts to put in the seats. And like, I'm just of the opinion that on the cultural level, people lost the rhythm was broken. Where I go out and I call up Will Morgan. I'm like, hey, Will, you coming to see Star Wars with us? And he says, yeah. And then Apple pays me his $20 and I call up Rob and you know what I mean? And Brandon and we have everybody. And then we're now all going. And then now you have these groups, these large groups all going of friends going to see like the new Star Wars or the new Marvel movie or whatever it happens to be. And like when you go now, you don't see like that row of 20 friends all together.
No, what they're gonna have to do is borrow a bit from the concert stuff and be like, hey, you know, instead of going to the theater for the first 20 minutes before the movie starts and you have to watch these fucking bullshit commercials, we're gonna have a live Zoom call with the entire cast. You know what I mean? And we're gonna be texting your fucking questions and we're gonna be streaming it live to the fucking theaters before the movie starts. You know what I mean? And we're gonna do that like.
They're never going to do that like those commercials before the movies. That's a great idea.
But I'm telling you, they're going to have to start being more creative because right now, man, it's a fucking nightmare to go. Does the movie start at 10 or 10:45? Which one is it? You know, and how much am I spending? It's a real nightmare.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's definitely really really stupid. And what's kind of weird about that? By the
way, like tours are like through the roof. That's like they're highly profitable now. Yeah. Like. It feels like people just want to be back doing the things they enjoy, but unfortunately, theaters haven't come back that way. And again, when there is a big cultural moment like Barbie or Avatar or Top Gun, they have, you know, they have gone to be part of it. Yeah, Spider-Man, all of it. They've gone to be part of that. Yeah. But you know, you need something almost special to be bringing in everybody to the cinema these days.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. And on top of that, like that thing that you were talking about too, where you do have like 40 minutes of ads before you go in, that does cut into the amount of times that movie can play. And that does, like, there's a reason that they don't make 3-hour movies beyond it just being expensive, is that you want to be able to show your movie as many times per day as possible to generate as much revenue as possible. And when the theaters do that, it is them being greedy and them actually fucking hurting the whole system.
Is that thing still going on over there with AMC, where if you go and see a film at a peak time, you got to pay more, or if you want better seating, you got to pay more?
That was an experiment, and everybody collectively said "fuck you," and I don't think it. I don't think it took off. I actually like stopped going to AMC theaters around that time, and I got theaters that are better than AMC next to me now. So I haven't. So I don't know if they still do it, but I'm pretty sure that experiment backfired, and that was it. You know what I mean?
Because then didn't he then shortly after then start charging people more for quote premium movies, and it started around the Batman, I think, and later on. So you just pay more for a ticket then, and you would see, I don't know, like bottom.
They laid out a plan for that and then ditched it. But they put that out at CinemaCon. They were going to do that, and they caught a lot of shit.
It's hard to keep track of it too, because you have, like, you'll go to a theater and there's the quote like, this theater has recliners and the tickets cost $2 more.
Well,
and
plus,
this theater is
they can't accurately predict what they think is a premium movie. Like, oh, we think the Marvel movie will be a premium movie. Barbie ends up being the movie that makes all the fucking. They would not have predicted Barbie would have been the premium movie. So they would have been charging $40 for an Ant-Man ticket and $20 for a Barbie, and they would have had less people see Ant-Man than would have seen it. Like these fucking little assholes, man. They think they're so fucking smart. You know,
the AMC guy, he gave himself a bonus and a raise because fucking Reddit and like all these guys saved them from bankruptcy.
Yeah,
not him. Like Reddit, and like it's bonkers. Yeah. But he takes all the credit. He takes all the pay. Like all those people lost jobs. Doesn't matter. You know. Yeah. He's a genius.
This is a smart guy. You know what I mean? That's our ruling class, and we love him. Matt Risman says AMC stopped the premium seats thing. So yeah, thank you, Matt. Also, Matt, author of Rey Delay 2024.
Yeah, all that does is encourage people to not go see something. I'm just telling you right now. I'm pretty fucking like, well, people will pay. No, because right now you're like, I was like, when Jason told me the ending for Rise of the Beast was worth seeing, I'm like, how much? I'll go get the $10 showing. If that shit was $30 because it's Transformers, there's no fucking way. I'm like, well, I don't care.
I just like that we had the conversation before. We're like, they got to do this. This has to be a thing. Like, they got to get the G.I. Joe thing. You know what I mean? And then
but they don't know how to make G.I. Joe. So like, I stand by
it. I mean, they did make it just forgettable.
Yeah, well, they made Rise of the Beast, and they're not gonna know how to do G.I. Joe. They don't know how to do Transformers.
That they are still charging different prices at different times of the day.
AMC does charge different prices for different screen formats.
They've always had that.
Yeah,
matinees are always cheaper.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is they have like if you go to Cinemark or Century, they're like, oh, this is the XD theater, and like that one costs more, and they are nicer, and it's like a premium thing, and I'm like, okay,
I get a cheaper time of the day, because why would we be open at 10 p.m. 10? I mean, basically, you don't want a theater that says we're only open between 8 and 12 at night, because then that's ridiculous. So you got to encourage. Plus, older people go during the day and they can't afford as much. So, like, all that's been around forever.
I don't want to sit next to anybody at the movies, so I go at 11 a.m.
That's me.
Yeah,
that's me too.
That's me. Why do you think I'm not here? When I'm not here on the show, it's because I go see Sonic 2, and then I walk out, then I come back on the show.
But the thing is, as well, it is harder to get people to go to the cinema now, like, because of how the theatrical experience is, Yeah. I remember when the Black Widow movie came out, it was like you can pay $20 or whatever, £20 to watch it at home, or I can go to the cinema and watch it for half the price. I really wish I watched it at home, because it was so bad with the type of people in there and the amount of noise and how filthy it was, and it was just not great, And it's the thing now. Like I spoke to my mate like Pevy the other day, and he always used to go to cinema in 2019 or whatever. And these days, he's always going to concerts. He's always going to like musicals or wherever it may be. He's going to all these different things, but he struggles to go back to the cinema because of how just cinemas are now, Right. And he only goes back for a big moment. So Barbie, for example,
Yeah, big moment. Yeah.
Rick Jones, you're speaking my budget language, Dollar Tree candy. And then you just stick it all in your kids' pockets all over, and then that's how you do it. But once again, I would prefer to not do that. I would prefer to go and support my local theater.
Yeah. Because they don't make any money off
spending $10 on a large drink. Fucking fuck you. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's Sabersmith wants to know, have you seen Godzilla -1 yet?
No, because we're in a COVID fucking blah blah blah. And I'm not walking
you went
into
and saw that. You went and saw Mission Impossible 8 times. So
but with the COVID rates, I check the shitter rates in this county, right? And when they're below a certain threshold, then I'll go into a theater. Right now they're way above. So
it's worth dying for. KG says,
tell that to Bespin's tongue, dude. Like,
you know what?
I didn't even leave the house to get it though. Like, it was brought to me.
Neither did Azatru. Someone just walked by his window and coughed into his house, and he got it. But I sit on the second floor. No one's getting to my house. So.
Yeah, I mean, you might just run into a jogger's COVID trail. You never know. I mean, you could get it so many ways.
No, I go walking at 7 in the morning. There's no one there.
I mean, yeah. I just mean in reality, like our friend Azatru, he got it and he was like never went or did anything. It just, you can just get it like from it. It's an air.
I'm going to pay for Godzilla -1, and I'm going to pay for The Boy in the Hair. I would have seen all these films. These are the films I want to see. I don't want to be like, hey, I saw fucking Rise of the Beast this past year, but I didn't see the new Miyazaki film. You know, I'm not happy about this.
That's where you're at right now.
Motherfuckers can't wear a mask. And I got to be honest, when I'm in a movie theater, look, this is just 45 years of conditioning here. Okay. When I'm in a movie theater, I like to have a soda or something to drink. Okay. And that's that. And I wore a mask through Avatar and the Batman. Okay. I did it. I did my.
You were in a Batman mask when you saw Batman with your.
If it were James Cameron, I would. It doesn't work,
Rob. When you wear the Batman mask, that's not like a COVID mask. It doesn't help.
It's just so wet. Both those movies are really wet. I want something to drink.
You went like this.
It's so hard.
Want to get nuts?
Let's get just nuts. Raining everywhere, and they're underwater, and they're just like so parched. You know, like I just want to drink something. What world do we live in? Like this is not the future I thought I'd have to negotiate with here. You know.
Bunsaw says Bespin threatened him with tongue picks, but never delivered. So, anyways, I like what we're hearing on the Star Wars slate, though. Like, yes, I was talking to a friend of the show, Max, last night, and she was like, you know, like
HBO Max?
No, Max Zandau.
I thought she created HBO.
No. She changed her name to HBO Max.
It was HBO.
Zaslav got rid of it. Yeah, since Zaslav got rid of it, she took it. She's like, I'm taking HBO.
More like HBO. I've heard stories.
You said that.
HBO. Anyways, I love you, man.
I like how you repeated it. In case we didn't hear
I'm proud of it. I am proud of it. Let me look at my smile. I'm laughing at my own joke. No, she was. She was like kind of like about what they've been up to in the last like couple of years, and like how everything's coming and then it's not and then it's delayed and blah blah blah, and it's a bit like, oh fucking, everybody's just to a point with them where they're like, oh, when it's releasing, we'll fucking believe you, and I don't blame anybody for like feeling that way at all. I do think, though, from what we're hearing on the topics of the films and the concepts that we're hearing, it doesn't sound like they're that auteur theory rooted stuff that, like I was about to say earlier, the first Jedi film. We know Homeboy is not the first person to think of the idea, and we know that Lucasfilm was developing and halting development on it for several years now. So, in my opinion, that is a goal of theirs to do that story, and they just don't want to fuck it up, because if they fuck that one up, they can never go, it's fucked for life. Like, look at the old Planet of the Apes movies. Some of those, I love them all in their own dumb way, but they really fucked that like original run up, like with some of the weird shit that they tried and failed at. And like, so you don't want to fuck any of that up. So once again, that's where I ultimately respect and know I will one day miss Kathleen Kennedy. One day she will be gone, and we're gonna have somebody that is like doing these Madam Web, whatever the fuck it is, style Spider-Man spin-off movies.
Avi takes over fucking Lucasfilm.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
like,
when you gotta call it quits, right? That's when you're gonna walk away.
That's when you're like, you know what? I'll watch this shit on cable someday. Yeah, and like, but on the flip side of it, we could get the best Star Wars stuff and we can get the worst stuff. Nobody knows what's gonna happen. But what the concepts that we're hearing, they sound like they are things that won't die. Like, that's why I think Kathleen Kennedy, she's not saying that the Rogue Squadron movie's dead. I think they intend to make that movie. They do. I do believe that a Rogue Squadron film will come out. Do I think it'll be from Patty Jenkins based off of the current trajectory? Absolutely not. But that's a concept of a potential IP that they own. They will get to it. They do make Star Wars movies. Like, it's funny, we have two competing narratives right now that both are respected, and one's they made too many. The other is they don't make enough. Why don't they just do what they say? And it's like, so it just goes to show you how complicated this actually is for them. And like, sometimes I do tend to look at their perspective a little bit too much than the audiences. Like, I like, because I care about the making of, and so my mind tends to go there. So I believe Taika will make a Star Wars movie. But the one thing I think goes against like the Taika concept is Taika's hot now. He's been hot, and he's gonna cool off because everybody does for the most part. Taika's either the next
his next
Spielberg
movie
or
that doesn't hit, like,
yeah,
he's gonna definitely be in the cooling off period.
Yes, yeah, and that's the thing, is you either become Steven Spielberg or you don't. Almost no one ever becomes Steven Spielberg. Like, that's like, for instance, Spielberg is once in a lifetime like filmmaker when you get down to it. Like, he's definitely cooled off too. But by the time they get to his movie, he's going to probably not be the guy that we think of him as we think of him today. And that could be the case, and that might mean that the Taika movie ends up happening and he's not on it. Like, he might write it, not even direct it by that point. Like, there's all kinds of
credit.
Yeah, he'll definitely, and they might develop off of what he did eventually or something like that. But so I am optimistic, but I just try to be a realist about the optimism. I think that's like my perspective on it. Is, yeah, there will be Rey Skywalker films. Yes, there will be new Jedi movies in the future. Yeah, they will do that Origin of the Jedi movie. Yeah, there will be a Rogue Squadron movie. Like, all of this shit will come to pass. The revelations of Star Wars prophecies. Yeah, it will come to pass. But on time, on a schedule, I do not believe in any date. That's why a part of me, even you do an excellent job of like laying out those dates. A part of me just doesn't fucking care about release dates, because so many things could come and just fuck it. The Avengers might have a scandal, and they might have to fire the main villain, and then the whole thing gets reworked and moved a year, and then now Avatar's bumped, and then now Rey Part 2 can't come out. Like, there's so many things to fuck it on a schedule. So that's the problem with the monopolization of intellectual properties via Disney. Is like Star Wars and Avatar competing against each other is how it might have been in another era. Now they're fucking working together to dominate the box office and make it real sleepy. But that's what we got. That's where we're at. So yeah, I think these ideas are likely to occur. I just don't believe in a schedule. So, I hope it all works out and it's all fine. But, like, I always need to reiterate in this bitching little session that I do on this too, that from up until 2023, there wasn't supposed to be a Star Wars movie. They were supposed to rest Star Wars from 2019 until 2023. Officially, that was their plan. Once we hit 2023, now we are in year 2 of no Star Wars movie when there should have been Star Wars movies hitting. So that's important context about where their successes and their failures lie.
Didn't they date the Star Wars movie for 2022? Like, didn't they announce Untitled Star Wars movies for 2022, 2024, and 2026?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Benioff and Weiss was still about.
Yeah, but the arresting.
It was going to have like 4 years off anyway.
once those fuckers were gone, I mean,
once those guys are gone, it's 23. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a whole that's when the whole thing got like shifted because but so the question I think I would have, or I think that the thing to ask ourselves is, do we want concurrent stories of the first Jedi and then Rey starting a new Jedi Order? Like, do those things really
I don't like
work together? Like,
I don't like the layout.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that we're going to go from Mando to Rey to the first Jedi. I would rather the Mando movies, the Rey movies, and then maybe the first Jedi thing can continue its own thing. It can have its own series of films.
Yeah.
You know?
And I honestly would rather they had just tossed out, you know, some shit on Disney Plus and just had gone to the first Jedi on Disney Plus.
And then we still have questions of
better.
That
where's
should
Lando?
be a series on Disney Plus that
'Cause you could get
eventually makes
deep.
it to a film.
Yeah, you
Like,
could go deep
yeah.
on it and really explore like the subtleties and make it nuanced. You could do your Game of Thrones, so to speak, on that front if you wanted
And
to.
they could do more medieval shooting like in Game of Thrones. They don't have to have Filoni,
can I get a pronunciation check? Dave Filoni, can you come in and tell Rob how to properly say the name of this planet?
Yeah, he don't know what he's talking about. It's Coruscant. You know what I'm saying?
Coruscant.
Coruscant. Yeah, it's
Coruscant.
Coruscant, right? It's
Okay. Does it have as an accent?
Yeah.
Coruscant. It's like
well, that's how you'd say it. That's how you'd say it at the Alamo. I figures. So you know what I mean?
So the capital of the galaxy is called
Coruscant.
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 Like that? Okay.
Yeah. You got to do a little vocal fry. Know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Coruscant. Got it. Okay,
I gotta go about writing like 10 more movies we ain't gonna make, so I'll be back. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Filoni. Okay.
I just don't think this Mangold one happens though.
Mm-hmm.
It's the one I've never believed will happen.
Yeah, you've been down on the man. You've been down on the goal.
And I like him as a filmmaker. It's not like because I have anything against him. I don't mind Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. It's
a couple of those sweaters, though. A couple of those sweaters.
Right? Yeah. But I just don't see it like that. So we saw it with Patty Jenkins, right? Where they were like, and we've seen it with Pedro as well.
Roller skating Patty Jenkins, yes.
Roller skated, right? But it's like, okay, we're going to do this Star Wars film. This is when it's going to happen. Oh no, something else has knocked on the door and I've got to go and do that now. So I can't do it, right? And like, he's supposedly doing the Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah.
Like, even though it's probably going to be smaller budget and whatever else, probably doesn't take as long to make. What if that like happens first? You know, what if we get to 2025 and it's announced the Swamp Thing's coming out in October 2027? You know,
it's confirmed that he's writing Swamp Thing,
writing and directing, yeah.
Okay,
and that's the thing. Like last year, in August he was supposed to start shooting this Bob Dylan film. He still hasn't done it, and apparently they're not going to start it until after the Dune press tour, and Dune releases in March.
But what is the filming on that? Like a month and a half, 2 months, probably?
I think it was 3.
3? Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, like, because even then, you know, that's in the hypothetical, like, oh, they'd start filming in April. They might not start till the summer. They might not start till the fall. Like, you don't know what the schedule is of the actors he has attached to it.
Yeah.
You know, like Timothy Chalamet said he's going to film like a ping pong movie this year. Like...
Yeah, he's gonna shoot a ping pong movie. Yeah, he's bigger than Marvel.
I hope it has that. Remember, you know, that one chick you could shoot him out. Anyways, yeah, no, I think Dial of Destiny was decent too. I mean, it's up there. You know, it works. It's fine. I would give him a Star Wars. I wouldn't take it from him. I don't feel like any issues I might have at all with that movie, I don't think has anything to do with the Mangold stank. You know what I mean?
You think the Mangold movie will happen? In your heart, do you think it'll happen?
Yeah. I do think it'll happen. Like I said, I'm of the opinion.
Not that the concept wouldn't happen, but his version, him directing.
Yeah, I think he needs it to. I think he needs to give that company a fucking win. And if he wants to
be fair, the man did make the Wolverine and then made Logan, and you couldn't get two more radically different films from this, same dude. So like, it just depends on what the studio's allowing him to do. I mean, Indiana Jones just feels like everyone had to say, what they wanted. Harrison had to say, and the studio had to say, and the director had to say, and blah, 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 blah.
George had to say.
And I'm like, look, man, either you're going auteur or you're not. Like that's it. Don't fake an auteur movie with the studio, thing behind it. It's bullshit. It's either Logan or it's the Wolverine. Pick the one you want to make, like, and stop pretending to be one or the other when you're not. Like,
I think though, the impression I have too. Well, I also have the same impression of Rian Johnson, and that's that everybody pretty much enjoyed working with him. You know what I mean? Across the board for the kind of director he is, I'd say that he did pretty well with them. So I do think we will likely see that, but at the same time, I don't like the what's on the menu though. I don't think like those things all like sit well next to each other. Like that is where like I'm not excited for a Rogue Squadron movie. It's the least thing I am. It's the movie I at least care about the idea and the topic of. It's the thing I have the least faith in it meaning anything and mattering to me. That said, when you're like, oh, here's a Jedi movie and here's a bounty hunter movie and then here's a spaceship movie, you're like, okay, cool. Like I get what they're putting on the menu, but they're essentially serving like, here's fries and nuggets and here's nuggets and fries. You know what I mean? It's the same dish.
Yeah,
or it's like chicken fingers and nuggets. It's like, it's the same fucking thing at the end of the day.
That's why I was always hoping that like when Taika was a thing, that his movie would be a new part of the galaxy, a new cast, unrelated to anything we know, and a new time, just something fresh, something different. All the other things still exist. You can still have like connections to the Skywalker Saga or wherever you want on Disney Plus and wherever else. But I just want like a new, fresh step. The other things can exist, but we keep playing in the same ballpark. Like the Mandalorian is so attached to the original trilogy. And obviously because of how Favreau views it, and then we have the Rey movie now, which is it's not the Skywalker Saga, but it directly follows the Skywalker Saga, and it's she even has the Skywalker name by the end of the last movie she was in, and it's like I want to see these movies, but I also want to do something new and fresh, and that's what I was hoping we would get. Like even when you look at what Benioff and Weiss said they were doing, which was it was a series of movies about the origins of the Jedi. That's new cast and a place we haven't been before. And that's what I was hoping Levy would be. I'm not disappointed that he's doing a possible Rey sequel. That's fine because they're trying to plan out a series of films. But I was hoping at least one of these filmmakers would go somewhere else with it.
Yeah. And all we could really hope is that whatever like the spin is on that idea, that they are different, that they both like go in two different directions on, like, you know what I mean? On even though it's like they're both about starting a Jedi Order in some way, hopefully it's two radically different directions. So it doesn't feel like we're getting the same story just told in a different era, Oh, in this one we don't know how to make lightsabers, and in this one we do, that kind of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's but there's there's huge opportunities in there, like it was the Game of Thrones dudes were saying like, yeah, and ours, like, you had like the first lightsaber ever, like being that kind of stuff. Like those are huge, Excalibur style moments if handled right, could be fucking classic moments for Star Wars, huge. And the Rey film can never have that. All the Rey thing could do was like, look, I got a yellow one now. Like that's all that, you know what I mean? And so there are opportunities
big,
afforded.
Yellow one.
Oh yeah, big old thick one.
Big thick yellow. Look at that.
Yeah,
get the girth on that.
I'm of the opinion that 15 years later, she has a different lightsaber, and it won't be that one at all. like I think our new one's gonna have like more veins in it and stuff. It's like
I hope it's a double. Like I hope it's double sided. Because I always thought that's where they were going. Like they in the Lost Jedi novelization, they said the reason she in that scene where she's training with the saber and goes to the staff is because she's more comfortable doing so. And then when you break the saber, I was like, oh, you're gonna use the staff and make a a double-bladed lightsaber. But no, JJ is like, that's prequel shit. Like, like we ain't doing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope she has a double-bladed saber.
And strangely, one of the things from the prequels that everybody loved. Like no one had a problem with double-bladed lightsabers.
Everybody lost their shit when they saw the second one pop out. Like
yeah.
Just how I feel about tits,
when I first heard the rumor that there was going to be a double-bladed lightsaber in the first Star Wars prequel, I was very apprehensive about it. I was like, "Ooh, don't fuck with that. What are you doing?" But then I saw it and I was like, "That's great." You know what I mean? That's rad. So, well, any other thoughts before we hit the road? We said it all.
I think it's all been said.
I think it's all been said.
Yeah, I think we're good, right? We're gonna do day 4 with Ray Delay. We're gonna do.
I fucking hope not, Rob. I really hope not.
Bespin needs to be harassed more online.
No, he does not need to be harassed.
He does not.
More.
Oh,
he doesn't. You've had your fun. I've taken some abuse. Leave me alone.
Maybe we could have Adventure on and berate him about Ubisoft, for like an hour. Maybe.
Listen, no, right? Mm-hmm. Listen, don't do this just because you're jealous that I'm the best host of this show. All right?
I mean,
I like being the worst host. I told you, it's hard to do.
I mean, yeah, you're the number one host. I got number 2 as the host. That's what's amazing about it. I mean, that's how good you are. I'm not.
Bespin got voted the best host on this show, and I got voted the worst. They're like, what's he even do? He doesn't do anything. Like, you got a point.
If you were throwing up that Wendy shake mix on the thing, though, you'd be my number 1.
Look, if I wasn't doing this out of my own personal studio, you might get a show. Especially if I had to sit through Book of Boba Fett again, or Kenobi. Like
season 2, you're gonna have to. You just broke it. Everybody, Sketchcraft says Book of Boba Fett season 2 is a go.
Oh no!
Tweet that out.
The people reporting that there was a second season.
Rob,
Meg is racing to make an 8-minute video dragging this subject out, Jason. All right, like don't do that to her. All right, like don't.
Yeah, well, no, and then Jedi Mike just said Kenobi. Like, I know for a fact that Disney was like, do more Kenobi. We want more, and they were like, yeah, you guys are excited. They're like, yeah, and then Lucasfilm just sat on their hands.
You guys, I don't know who.
Hold on. New from Making Star Wars. It turns out instead of Rogue Squadron, they're making Crimson Squadron.
Kira's an X-wing pilot.
She was an X-wing pilot, and
a
she
skater.
Was and a skater.
Do any of you remember a rumor that Obi-Wan was going to be an Andor? Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do remember that.
Where did it come from? Because, like, Pevy today
Mary
was
Elizabeth
looking at,
Winstead was just fucking with people.
Pevy was looking at like the abuse I was getting, and like they were saying, "Oh, Bestman said this." I was like, "When the fuck did I ever say that?" Because I didn't.
I don't want to say for certain, but wasn't that an Andrew WK or whatever his name is? Daniel RPK?
I have no idea, but like Pevy was like,
Jason's been hanging around with me too long. You're picking up my pension for names.
I was talking to him earlier, and he was like, "They said here that you've got a bad track record. You said that Kenobi was in Andor." I was like, "I've never said that.
You never said that.
In a million years."
I would love every time you said something I disagree with, I'd be like, "Yeah, but you thought fucking he was in Kenobi." I would say that to you every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's nothing that I've never said it. Like,
oh yeah, I wish you did. So I
remember we had like some outlets coming to us and being like, we feel this is an Andor and this is an Andor, and it was never on, like Mustafa and shit, like,
yeah,
and be like, no, like, but he was like, yeah, like he's telling me that these people are tweeting shit like that, and Mace is going to be in Boba Fett. I was like, I've never said any of this. This is never me.
Mace Windu is going to be in Boba Fett episode.
What's funny was there was something Mace was going to be in, and he was cut. That's the funny part. He didn't film anything though. Yeah. All of those same people are gonna go crazy. I was talking to I was trying to get some more stuff about today, and I didn't really get anywhere. It was more of a, oh, let's let a few people hang themselves first by one source's words, essentially. And it's like, yeah, so we're gonna see some funny stuff within the next couple of days, but hopefully we have, yeah, Bosk will be in Boba Fett, Kira will be in Boba Fett, Mace will be in Boba Fett. Like that was funny because at that point I thought I knew some stuff about Boba, but I didn't know like a ton. I hadn't really like worked, like didn't really like go out searching for stuff on it.
Jason.
And but I was like, none of that is stuff that anybody is mentioning to me at all. So I'm like, maybe I'm just really out of the loop.
But Jason, when are we getting more dinosaur? The one fucking thing from Kenobi I did like was confirmation we have a dinosaur race in Star Wars, and we ain't getting no more dinosaurs.
Oh, that dinosaur exists. He'll show up. He'll be around.
I need more dinosaur. Like right now, I would commit to a 3-issue miniseries at Star Wars. I would draw this fucker if it was just about dinosaur. Like, leave me the dinosaur, dude.
I think if that dinosaur didn't fall apart during Kenobi, and it's generally like, you know, in condition that can be touched up and used, I think we see it again. They so far have reused everything quite a few times, I think, overall, you know. A certain mask, you know.
Can he be played by Jurassic Ray Park? Like
Jurassic Ray Park.
You know what I mean? He said you lewd pics of his lightsaber.
Oh, maybe they could do the end of Teen Wolf, where at the end the guy has his dick out, and it's just like Ray Park like up in the stands in the dinosaur costume with this fucking schlong hanging out.
I want a keg of beer. People are like, why are you finding this funny? I don't know what you're talking about. Speak, to my generation.
There's the Teen Wolf film. There's a guy with the schlong out, and it was just in the movie for years, and nobody ever caught it.
Just sat there.
Star Wars Santa says Baymax is holding off for the Mod Gang spinoff series, and it's like, you know what? I actually think the Mod Gang spinoff series would be fucking rad.
Like make it like American Graffiti.
No. If you make them like a gang though, and you put them on like Nar Shaddaa or Coruscant or something like that, they fit
those
in
bikes
a cyberpunk
have
thing.
Flat bottoms. They look stupid.
Flat bottom girls. That's what I'm all about.
No.
Oh
no. Definitely not. Not my
flat bottom girls. They don't
dumb.
wait. Oh, it's fat bottom girls that make the rock and roll go around. Sorry, strike it from the record. Got it backwards.
Yeah, they got to get rid of those stupid bikes. They could have chromed out swoops. This is the design of the bike is lame. I don't even care about like the shininess of it. It's just the design of them. Or it's a fucking dumb idea, and I know where they got it from, and that was a dumb idea in the '60s too. So, yeah, it should stay there with bell bottoms and whatever the fuck George Harrison had on his face.
I think it's a bad execution, but I think the idea
soul patches. Long ass sideburns. Unless you're an X-wing pilot, you don't get to have long ass sideburns. That's it. That's it. So? Once you're in Y Squadron, Rogue Squadron, Crimson Squadron, you get to have long sideburns. Men and women and dinosaur. I need a dinosaur X-wing pilot to be the lead of this Rogue Rex Squadron. Chops. I want the Rex Squadron series, right?
Yeah, but people don't think you mean Captain Rex, you know?
Oh shit.
Okay. How about he's an X-wing pilot? He has big chops. And his name is Choposaurus.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, $1 billion idea. Like the Barbie, the Oppenheimer, Barbie Hyman crowd, they're all for this.
Yeah, and like he has to have one of those first names, like 3 letters, like C-O-K. So it's like Cock Choposaurus. And he's like, it's about his adventures with Rogue Squadron.
You're 3 steps away from Chapachawa, and I just don't like where this is going. Like,
Chapachawa, that's his brother who dies in the opening sequence, and that's what makes him get sad, but then have to go on a journey of reemergence and putting his life back together. It's like pretty much like Goose. It's like Goose.
But... All right, Filoni. You know what I mean? Like we're right back to this. We just wanted dinosaurs in space flying X.
But I want Anthony Edwards to play Chapachawa in the opening as a callback.
Does he have his mouth open the whole time, looking stupid and dumbfounded?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
okay. And we're gonna actually use Meg Ryan's plastic surgery shavings and remnants to construct the costume, so that way it's also a callback to Meg Ryan in Top Gun.
Well, I've just seen an exclusive regarding this movie, and I've been told that Chris Pratt is going to ride the fuck out of this dinosaur.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's gonna do that move. Where he just like does
No,
that?
he's just gonna ride the shit out of it, and he's gonna have his Mario accent during the whole thing.
It's me. I'm a Rogue Squadron rider. Yeah, I ride in the Rogue Squadron.
Oh man.
And Colin Trevorrow's gonna direct it. So,
oh fuck! Wow,
yeah.
did we did? I mean, you know, we still stepped in shit on episode 9, but I still think we dodged a little bit.
Yeah, Dominion was worse than
that was
episode
so
9.
bad. That was so bad. All right, guys. Bespin, thank you for doing 3 articles and hanging out for an hour and a half. I know you got stuff to do, so we'll get the fuck out of here now. Rob, don't drink the shake stuff. Go with the Nutella and just get it out of your system. You can do it. You're allowed. You're an adult. But
if I'm gonna die by any food, it's gonna be Fig Newton.
I feel like one day
Fig Newtons, huh? That's your thing? Fig
the
figs?
Love Fig Newtons. Love Fig.
You're a figure, huh? You're a figure Newtoner.
Do not say that word, Jason.
Oh, that does sound bad. I did not mean it.
Dangerously
close
to getting us all canceled. Do not do that.
No, I didn't mean it.
I've already been canceled this week. It's fine, you know. Like, don't worry.
I was thinking of like Star Wars figures, and then I was thinking, okay, anyway.
All right, Alanis. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right. Well, fig you, buddy. Fig you.